Hi, please forgive the lack of makeup and also the temporary change of outfit, but I started to edit this video and opened my media files and realized that I lost the entire first half of my intro. Yeah, very frustrating. I'm very upset right now. I thought about just redoing the whole thing because that's just how I am. Not that it was a complicated makeup look and a complicated outfit or anything, it's just that's just how I am. All I said is that I got bullied a lot and that I am cringy, if you will. That's pretty much it. I'm super upset right now. But this me is very excited. And they're very excited to see you, so enjoy the video. It was for a lot of reasons. The reasons varied. Sometimes it was the people I hung out with, sometimes it was the things that I would wear, sometimes it was the things that I liked. They also bullied me because I am cringe. I'm just kind of like that. Cringey, if you will. As a result of being bullied for being cringe, I decided one day that I was going to bully people for being cringe. I was a mean kid, and I don't say that with pride. Bullying isn't cool. If you do it, stop. Just stop. There's really no reason for you to be doing it. Also, I hate you. But me being bullied for being cringe and weird and a quiet kid is not justification for me to be mean. I would love to talk about that stuff and everything. I actually wouldn't, but I actually want to talk about something else today. Actually, how I grew from being such a mean person, or at least part of what helped me grow from that. I embraced my cringe. Embracing my cringe has made myself a lot kinder to myself, allowed me to really mostly I allowed myself to like things. So when I'm talking about cringe, sometimes like cringe is so broad. There's like awkwardness, like the social awkwardness or lack of self-awareness, or cringe can just be like, at least from what I've experienced and what I'm gonna talk about today, fandoms. It's a lot of fandoms. People liking things for some reason is cringe. I was made painfully aware of this. So I'm gonna talk about how I embraced my cringe and how you can do it too. Dear God, I think it's important for me to say that embracing your cringe is a process. If it's instant, that's awesome, but for me, it was not like that. It was like a weird, mildly uncomfortable process for me that I wanted to actually stop at multiple points because I felt gross and weird for indulging in interests that I know that I would be bullied for. It was a slog for a few days, but after I realized that being the way I was okay, and that the real losers are like the bullies and oppressors that I had in my life, it became much, much easier. So I'm gonna talk about a few of my interests and kinda how I got back into like appreciating them and healing my inner child, I think, and allowing myself to be cringe. Okay, first I'm gonna talk about FNAF. So when I was a kid, I actually super made fun of kids that liked FNAF. I was, oh my god, I missed out. I feel like I missed out on so much, like to relate to people now, fandom-wise, because I would find out that my friends would like something and I would find out that it's super, super popular and I'd be like, it's so lame. Like everyone else likes it. Oh my god, why was I like that? I remember when Five Nights at Freddy's 3 came out. I was in middle school and my friends were sat around a table and I was listening to them talk about it and I was like, first of all, why is a third one coming out? I thought the first one came out like last year. Second of all, they're saying that there's one villain this time around instead of 4 or however many. Third of all, this enemy is just a guy. He's just a guy in a suit. Five Nights at Freddy's, more like Five Nights at Furries, which is also cringe. It was so lame. Just, oh my god, dude, just let people like things. So I actually did sit down and watch like Markiplier's first video on it with a friend. I had a friend that I would boast to about having no fears. Like, I didn't have any fears, except for like one thing. I actually have a lot of fears. Disclaimer, super disclaimer. I am afraid of a lot of things. Okay, not a lot of things, but I'm just intensely afraid of like a couple of things. I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I don't like the machines, the animatronics, if you will, at places like Chuck E. Cheese's. I already hated that place as it was. I didn't like other kids. I didn't like the loud. There's a lot going on at once, and it was like way too much for me to take in most of the time. And there are these horrific creatures on the stage. I don't like them. I didn't like the way that they moved, and their eyes are so, you know? Ever since my last video, I am aware that I move my eyes around a lot. Like I was editing it, and I'm like, what am I looking at? I am aware that I move my eyes a lot, but not like mechanically. I'm paranoid, but no android. Anyway, so she showed me the video and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, I guess. Still don't like it and you're still a loser for it, but I don't know. And I thought Markiplier was cringe. If you liked Markiplier, I was not friends with you. Even though I was friends with this person who liked Markiplier. It was different. I'm not gonna get into any more semantics, okay? People are very complicated and complex and have depth. Me, I have depth, okay? Let's get into what caused me to actually like embrace it. Actually, I was in high school when I first got my first hint of it. I was going through a pretty difficult patch and I don't know what possessed me, but I decided I seriously don't remember what happened that made me like get curious and watch a Markiplier video on my own. It was the Bear's Black Heart, just so I could get a taste before I delved into FNAF and stuff. I think it was the lore or something, because I love lore. I love like crazy having to put things together lore. I think that's so fun. It's so neat. I wish I could make a story like that. Anyway, details aside, I started watching his FNAF series. I think maybe I started watching the 4th one and I was super lost because all I knew were the first 3. I didn't even realize that there were 6 more by the time that 6 more? I didn't realize that there were over 6 by the time I got around to it, I guess. I needed something to fall asleep to, so I watched it and I was like, what's going on? And then like I kind of stopped myself because I was like, this is so lame. This is for like middle schoolers. There was that. It was intriguing and I kind of did some reading on it. Some reading for me is one might call it obsessive for a little bit because I was curious. So let's skip ahead to 2022. I had a massive change in my life. No, you don't get to hear the details. At that point, I didn't know if it was good for me, but I was feeling pretty bad. I was like, this is gonna get super ugly before it gets any better. Like art. It was a super, super dark time in my life. And I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw like some sort of animatic someone had made for Security Breach. And I was like, what's this? They're still making FNAF games, what the hell? So there was that and I loved the art style. It was so cute. I can't remember who it was or what the video was. I know Glam Rock Freddy was in it. Gregory. And it was actually really funny. I remember like smiling. It was so delightful. It was just so nice. I saw a couple more of these sun and moon creatures and I was like, who are these guys? There's so much new. Is that the crying child? It wasn't. So I was talking to a friend and I was like, this is so embarrassing, but I got into FNAF. And my friend was like, say less. We talked about FNAF. We binge watched Markiplier's playlist of the mainline FNAF games that he had played. It was awesome. And revisiting the story was so awesome because I had forgotten a lot of it. Because what happens is I will consume so much of a media, but then my memory like erases it after some time. I don't know why, but I get to rediscover it and it's awesome. So there was that, and then I had a super dark moment in my life. And like at the nick of time, my friend calls me and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, so we make a FNAF character tier list. And that made me feel better. I was all better. Not all better, but like I stopped what I was doing. At the end of the day, did FNAF save my life? No, my friend did. However, I'm really glad that I let myself enjoy it. The story is crazy. I don't think the guy's a great storyteller. I think that's why there are so many gaps. Am I allowed to say that? But it's a pretty cool story up until 6. Next is My Little Pony. I'm still embarrassed to say it out loud, but like embracing your cringe, like it happens in stages, okay? Like I've told one of my friends about it, but yeah. And it's not just Gen 4, because I grew up like kind of collecting the little figures. I don't remember which specific ones I had. Everyone has like a childhood pony. I don't really. I watched the G1 series, I watched some of the G3 series. I really liked, I love how the G1 series looks. I love its aesthetic. It's like old and like vintagey kind of. It's really cute. I actually got into voice acting because of the G4 series. Again, the same friend actually that first showed me the FNAF video in high school or middle school or whenever that was. She was like, "I really like My Little Pony, you should check it out. It's like a really good show." And I was like, "Oh my god, really?" Anyway, I watched it and I loved it. I thought all of their voices were so unique and you could tell so much about them through their voice. I was obsessed with Rainbow Dash's voice. Ashley Ball is amazing. I did a lot of impressions of her. I was kind of a Dash Kinney for a little bit, just because she was the only one that I could kind of relate to, I guess, because she liked running fast. I liked running fast as a kid. I played soccer for a while, and her Equestria Girls equivalent played soccer. Also, she's my favorite design. I really like Fluttershy's as well. I don't know, all of their designs are really good, but yeah, those two are my favorite aesthetically. Do I still do voice acting? No. I want to get back into it, so hit me up if you have a project. But I don't do like, I stopped doing fandom stuff really for the most part because of a weird experience that I had that I'm not gonna talk about right now. Anyways, I was embarrassed because, oh my god, the weird ones, but sorry, that was really mean. There are weird people for everything. It's just the spectacle that people were honed in on when there was like all the brony hate and stuff. I was embarrassed to be a Pegasister. I was like, no, I'm not a brony, I'm a Pegasister. That was really difficult to kind of try to ignore, I guess. Just like, obviously the internet mockery, the collective internet mockery that people that liked the show went through. But I was like, well, I'm not a 40-year-old man, so it's fine. But like, people should like whatever they want at any age, of any gender. Like, you're not hurting anybody. As long as you're not being like creepy and hurting people, it's fine. You don't need permission from anyone to like something. You also don't really need justification. Well, I mean, I guess inherently to like things, you justify it and you're like, I like it because of this and this and this, but you don't have qualifications to like something, you know what I mean? Or you don't need them. YouTube started recommending some of the show highlights to me for some reason. Like, this was actually just a couple of months ago. So I saw like old clips from the show and stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember. Also on TikTok, I've been getting the crazy like infection AU stuff. I loved like the weird dark like fandom stuff that they did. The characters are just so cute and colorful. I saw people making their pony sonas and I'm like, I want to do that. I don't like being left out. I hate being left out. So yeah, thanks to YouTube's recommendations for some reason, and also the cool TikToks, the cool spooky TikToks, I realized I do like this. This was awesome. I'm sad that the fandom isn't like quite what it was a while ago, and I didn't let myself be immersed in it when it was like that. And now there's G5 and it looks, I don't know, I don't like it. I haven't watched it or anything, I just, aesthetically, I don't like it. So yeah, again, thanks to TikTok, I just let myself have fun. Vocaloid. My cousin and I love her. We grew up together, we were very close, we're still very close. We were super into Vocaloid. Actually, the both of us wanted to learn Japanese because of Vocaloid. Yes, that made us weebs. Neither of us were super into anime though. At least I don't think so. Not at the time. Now we kind of have a couple of interests in it, now that anime is socially acceptable to like, but we just loved Vocaloid. It was so fun. I think she introduced it to me and I was like, this is so awesome. My favorite Vocaloid song is Celestial Symphony. I don't remember who it's by, but they use Hatsune Miku to sing it. So pretty. I think it's so pretty. There's another one just like it with Miku and Rin. It's like a Friends Forever kind of song. I forget what it's called, but it's really nice. It's got the same like main chorus melody and stuff. But I love Celestial Symphony. To me, it sounds like I made up this sad story in my head where like, you know, they used to sing that song together and like something happened, maybe there was a falling out or something, and now Hatsune Miku sings her version, Celestial Symphony, alone. Anyway, again, TikTok actually, it brought like, it was like, do you remember these Vocaloid songs? And it was like, you know, the big popular ones, Rolling Girl, stuff like that. And then I was like, what were some I really liked? There was a circus one. It was so messed up, but I loved it. I forget what it's called, but Darkwood Circus? Dark Knight Circus? Something like that. Anyway, seeing that just made me think of my cousin and how much fun we had. I actually made a Vocaloid Sona. I don't think I ever told my cousin about it, but yeah, I made one and I don't really remember very much. I know she was blue. If I made one now, it'd be like pink. Anyway, actually her brother was like, you guys are gonna get made fun of. And she was like, we don't care. And I was like, yeah, we don't. But in the back of my head, I was like, I do care. It's why I would never tell people what I was listening to whenever I'd roll up to school there, because I always had headphones in. They're like, what are you listening to? And I'm like, you wouldn't like it. Anyway, that's Vocaloid. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's time. It's time. Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my god. This one. This was... still is one of my biggest obsessions growing up. Sonic the Hedgehog was my first ever video game I played, and I love video games. My dream job is to be a video game composer, and yeah, my interest in video games started off because of Sonic. Again, the characters are so distinct and okay, not looking at the comics, on first glance, the characters are very distinct and they're colorful and the music is great. I love the music. I'm sorry, Crush 40 is what I'm made of? I think I'm gonna do a series where I analyze Crush 40 songs or like just generally like Sonic soundtracks that have lyrics. I'm just gonna dissect their lyrics and be like, what did they mean by that? I think that'd be a good idea. I was made to be embarrassed about my interest in Sonic by a friend that I had that was kind of trying to humble me, and thank God that he did. I hated him for it at the moment, but like in hindsight, I deserved it. What I would do as a kid is Sonicify characters from other things. I know, it's cringe, right? I know, but we're embracing it. I did it with any other media that I really liked, or like other fandoms that I liked. I think sometimes he was also an artist, and he knew what I was drawing, I'm pretty sure, because he'd peek over and he'd see me draw fucking Reimu Hakare from Touhou as a Sonic, and I was making fun of these kids because they drew wolves on the whiteboard. I was like, oh my god, how embarrassing, right? Wolf kids. I was friends with a couple of wolf kids, but like then there were others that I didn't like. But my friend next to me starts laughing and is like, don't you draw Sonic characters in your sketchbook? I was so upset. I like shut down for the rest of the day. I was so embarrassed, and from then on I didn't want anyone to know that I liked Sonic or anything like that. Also because of the mass internet mockery of people in the Sonic fandom, of course. So like, I was really humbled by that, like, because I didn't want to accept that I was on the same level as the Wolf Kids. But there are no levels, just people liking things and enjoying things that make them happy. But yeah, I was like, Sonic's so cringe. Sonic fans, am I right? Like distancing myself from them and stuff. I wanted nothing to do with the community or anything. I still don't really. You don't have to partake in a community to be a fan of something. But once again, TikTok comes in to heal. Saw some animatics, saw some people draw Sonic characters in their own styles. I thought that was so cool. People making like really cute OCs. It was awesome. And then I found out that the movie was coming out, the first one, and I was so excited. And I don't like going into theaters, so I had to wait until I could watch it at home with someone I grew up with also liking Sonic and someone else, and we watched it together, and it was awesome. I was so happy. And then I was like rewatching like the old series too that I would watch with one of the people that I was watching with. We grew up together and we both liked Sonic. We would watch the Sonic Said I Am series, and that was, I rewatched it a little bit like in like 2022-ish, and it was just so nice and nostalgic, and Sonic's so funky. He's just a funky little guy. And yeah, it was awesome. I recall the Sonic Underground intro. I love that intro. It's so cheesy, but like I love like how it sounds. My favorite soundtrack actually comes from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Hydra City Zone Act 2. Absolute favorite. I love that song. When I was learning flute in band, that was the first song that I taught myself by ear, and I love it. Also, I started watching Game Grumps in like college, which was another thing that I thought was cringe when I was younger and like missed out on, I guess. And just like listening to Aaron, just the way that he talks about Sonic and that he loves it and stuff, and just listening to him like just passionately sing City Escape. Also, did you know that he actually sang that with Jun Sonoe actually? That's so crazy. Like, he loves Sonic, and it's okay to like Sonic, it's fine. Anyway, yeah, I like Sonic. Sonic are cool. What was the point of this video? I kind of just wanted to talk about my interests and how I got back into liking them, like interests that I was embarrassed of because of the bully in me, and how I eradicated that bully. Embracing my cringy interests was very healing. I think it made me kinder to myself and kinder to people in like ostracized fandoms or like interests and stuff. You'll probably notice a theme in all of these things. I let myself have fun, and I had constricted that about myself because I was embarrassed for one reason or another, because people made me to be embarrassed, I guess. As long as you're not a map or like sexualizing like the young characters and not like hurting anyone and harassing anyone, you're fine. You can like whatever you want, and that's really cool. I feel more connected to myself for having my interests. This was supposed to be more of like an informative video, like about how I embrace my cringe and how you can do it too. But it kind of just turned into me rambling about my interests. I don't know. I had like a bunch of notes that I was going to reference about ContraPoints' cringe video, but that didn't happen. Maybe I'll do that another time. Thanks for listening to what this video turned into. I'm so happy you're here, and I super hope I'll see you in the next one. Liking things is okay. Liking fandoms is okay. Allow your inner child to heal, because healing your inner child is way past cool. Okay, that's all. Bye.